That is true.
All right, it is a decision that is intensely personal and potentially heartbreaking. A pregnant woman deciding the best choice for her unborn baby is to not be its mother.
It's a story that Lorri Antosz Benson knows all too well because it is her story. She's written 2 books about adoption. To Have and Not to Hold is Lorri's own personal story. Adopting Hope shares the stories of others.
And she joins us now to talk more about this. Hi, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's a courageous thing to do, to talk about something so personal.
Well, yes, but when you go through something like this, you're looking for ways to make it worthwhile, what you went through worthwhile, and giving back and trying to help others is often the path people choose, and I did it very willingly.
You look back at it because you were just 24 years old, right? It's such an agonizing decision. I can't imagine that decision that a mother has to make to separate herself from the child that she has just given birth to.
Well, and I was 24 and had a good job, so, you know, in my case, I certainly could have cared for my daughter, but she would not have had the kind of life that she had because I placed her for adoption. I worked long hours. I was working for Phil Donahue producing, and it was, you know, 24/7 kind of job, as you people in television know. So I just knew that she'd be in daycare all the time. I didn't have family in the city and in the state, and so I was pretty much on my own, and I just made that decision, and I'm glad I did.
Well, it worked out. Despite all that, you have a beautiful relationship with her.
Well, at 16, she found me, and our families just blended as though they were meant to be together. And her adoptive mom and I bonded. We are like sisters now, and she's the reason she brought our families together.
It doesn't always happen that way, though,
doesn't
right?
Always happen.
So what would be your advice to people who decide maybe that they're going to reconnect with their biological daughter or son, and what challenges you might face?
So first of all, I felt strongly that this was a decision that the child should make. I felt like if it was up to her to decide whether she wanted to find me or not, and I kind of recommend that because I feel like the child has to kind of lead. I don't think an adoptive parent should push. You know, you should find your biological parent. I think that it's a very personal decision, and so I would say that definitely let the child take the lead on that.
And there's a stigma. Why is that when it comes to either you're giving up your baby or you're the baby who's adopted, and that's what you're trying to break?
I would like to get rid of that stigma,
sure.
And I'm hoping that it's disappearing. I mean, number one, making that decision, and I can speak from experience, to place a child is the most courageous, heartbreaking decision you can make, and you do it out of love. That's no reason for anybody to look down on you or feel, you know, I mean, that is a very a courageous decision. And I think on the other side, for an adoptee, you know, you're a gift. You are a gift. You've created a family, and your parents probably wanted you more than anything in the whole world. So really, there shouldn't be any stigma on that as well.
And this day and age, there's all different types of families. So as long as there is love and there's those tight relationships, then, you know, it's just a wonderful thing.
Absolutely. And I think that's what's important is the stories in Adopting Hope could be read by step families, blended families, you know, a lot of different.
And we have to leave it at that, but we want to remind people we can find your book basically everywhere.
Amazon, bookstores, everywhere.
Lorri, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for sharing your story.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.